SLPP suspicious about a presidential hand behind the Supreme Court ruling. Precarious times ahead, Ranil tells UNP to gear up for elections. A powerful female figure to lead campaign for presidential polls.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
SLPP suspicious about a presidential hand behind the Supreme Court ruling. You may have heard the saying that victory has 100 fathers and defeat is an orphan. Such a saying is applicable all the more in politics. Well-known political families have experienced these well, but there are some who would not bite the hand that feeds them and stay loyal amid all the trouble. Something similar to that is happening these days around the Rajapaksa family tree. Political circles are abuzz with various gossip. Some want the SLPP candidate to be a Rajapaksa, but the silent majority is against that. Some days ago, there was talk that the party's founder will contest. He just ignored it with a smile. Then, the Crown Prince in the SLPP was asked if he would join the race. Reportedly, he had declined the offer. At the same time, a party MP, who is also a business tycoon, was mentioned. As he expressed his willingness, some in the SLPP became alarmed and spread various yarns. Later, some have gone and asked the big boss himself. He laughed aloud and replied that he would answer once an election is announced. Such was the gossip that made its way to last week's Deshaya newspaper. With the historic Supreme Court verdict against several Rajapaksas, their plans have been come to a grinding halt. On 14th of November, a 5-member bench ruled that Gotabaya, Mahinda, Bazil, as well as Cabral, Lakshman, Atagala, Jayasundara, and the central bank's monetary board had violated fundamental rights of the people. Then, questions were raised if compensation can be obtained from them. Since the complainants had not sought any compensation, the court decided that they should be paid legal fees only. Veteran writer Gamini Viyangoda described it as a historic court ruling that came as all ideals, systems, and personalities were falling apart around us. It is no longer a political claim that this country was destroyed by the Rajapaksas and their bureaucratic cronies. The country's highest court has decided that. They evade it anymore. It is the responsibility and obligation of all citizens to uphold it at a future election, he said. Meanwhile, Namal Rajapaksa said they always respected the judiciary, but that only written evidence was considered by the court, and that Parliament is the best place to make an in-depth analysis of the economic crisis. However, party leader Mahinda insisted while talking to journalists in Kandy that he would not accept the court ruling. SJB media spokesman Marikar, speaking in Parliament, wanted all those found guilty to be stripped of their civic rights. I would not know the law, but criminal cases should be filed against them and they should be stripped of their civic rights. They left 22 million citizens in the lurch and made the country bankrupt, he said. With that court verdict, Damika Pereira, Melinda Moragoda, and the like, who wanted to contest on the SLPP ticket, now appear to reverse their decisions. A minister told his party colleagues at the Parliament canteen that the Rajapaksas would not be able to raise their heads for a long time. We have no option but to join Ranil's camp, he said. One MP asked if it was the doing of Ranil, to which the minister warned him not to say so and that he will end up in prison. Precarious times ahead, Ranil tells UNP to gear up for elections. President Ranil Wickremesinghe held a meeting of the UNP's management committee last Wednesday. It is time to prepare for an election. Everybody should start optimizing their networking capacities, he told party leaders. 2 days before that, he summoned Ruwan, Sagala, Ravi, Haran, and Manusha separately, and told them to forget internal matters and prepare for an election. The Haran and Manusha duo got alarmed by that. Let's start now. We are done for if we wait for the others, Harin said. Soon after, he had started an island-wide poster campaign. It is said that Harin employed youth involved in the Aragalaya to paste pro-budget posters in several towns. The president, too, appears to have become worried. He summoned Aquila from Kurunagala and delegated some major responsibilities. He is here to support the president with his media campaign and even held a press briefing. I decided to hold this press briefing to answer the falsehoods about the budget by those who do not love the country. People will have to suffer another year. Give Ranil a chance to restore things, Aquila said. Ranil has reportedly told his troops that he will hold the presidential election in September. However, looking at the government's current trajectory, some in the ruling coalition say it might be tough to hang on until April next year. A powerful female figure to lead campaign for presidential polls. The anti-Rajapaksa alliance is the happiest among all over the recent Supreme Court ruling. Nimal Lanza threw a celebratory party at a star-class hotel. Some members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party were in attendance. Everybody agreed when he said, "Rajapaksas cannot stand up again. We must get to work immediately." A SLFP MP said, "We should get Madam involved too. Champika, Welgama, and some in the SJB are ready as well." Several in Wimal's camp are on board as well, Siripala Amarasinghe said. Former president's private secretary Sukheswara Bandara said he would take care of the Buddhist temples. They unanimously decided to launch the new alliance in January. Reporting the meeting, AsianMirror.lk said, "A madam with many international connections is already well prepared for the presidential election. It is now clear that whatever troubles the country is facing, politicians are now getting ready for an election. Politics is all about grabbing power by any means necessary. Those who know its taste are not ready to give up all the perks and privileges and try their utmost to hang on to power. Whatever the case may be, the Leader TV will always bring you the true side of the story." That's it for today.